Hey everybody, quick note, I'm not home. This is home for the time being. I'm away from home for an extended bit of work in Central California currently. I wasn't able to pack my camera in the carry-on luggage, so I'm shooting this on my computer. I've got my phone here playing microphone. I know this isn't the quality of setup you've come to expect from me, but things will return to normal after this month. This is the best I can do for now. Boom, new day. I only really have time to work on this in like the 2 hours I have after work where I can be awake and take care of things. So if I sound really tired and dead, I'm sorry. We're still gonna have some fun. I'm homesick. I'm homesick for West Hollywood, specifically this intersection, Santa Monica and North San Vicente. I used to live a block from here. Now I'm a few more away, but still close by. Anyway, I was wondering exactly what this intersection has looked like through time. See, currently it's an intersection splitting 2 bars, a police station, and a rotating storefront, which has recently become the home of a real estate firm. It's a busy intersection, commonly connecting Sunset and Santa Monica before the thinner Doheny and the packed Fairfax to the west and east, respectively. It's a hot spot for sure, but has it always been? Well, no, at least not exactly. Just as far back as 2007, this intersection was actually home to a Citibank and a US bank. The sheriff's station was the same, and across from it was an American Apparel. Look at this, 2007. The vibes are so different. Maybe it's just the older Street View camera quality, but this really feels like we're in some sort of Dead Zone, Silent Hill gloomscape to me. But 2007 isn't that old. We want to go further. All right, the year is 1946. Here's the San Vicente and Santa Monica intersection, facing northeast now. You'll probably notice these freaking train tracks down the middle of the road here. These tracks are actually the original Red Line, the same Red Line which would be adopted by LA's underground metro in the future, and rebranded the B Line. How awesome is that? Look at this picture. This is a photo taken at Doheny and Santa Monica looking east toward the San Vicente intersection I've been focusing us on. This is from 1948. Seems mostly the same as the other intersection, but what you may not realize is you're actually looking at a future historic site for LA's entertainment industry. Let's skip forward a few years. This is a photo facing west back toward the point of view of the photo I just showed you. See? That corner building is the same. At this point in 1964, one set of tracks was being removed. They were being ripped up and shipped to the city of Perry to be used as trolley tracks. Since LA's railways could now move train cars back and forth on the same track, you see. You may notice another difference. This white building from photo 1 is now a little joint called the Troubadour. You may have heard of it. I've been outside the Troubadour about 5 times and inside it once. I went to see my favorite band Hippocampus play through their new album just ahead of its release with my friends Kenzie and Nathan. It was pretty freaking sweet. Hippocampus is a very special band to me. Their music reminds me of my friends. New friends and old friends. Hippocampus has soundtracked my life since 2015. In 2015, I was a sophomore at Bishop Miege High School in Roland Park, Kansas. This intersection here was a real pain in the butt. Students' cars would pile up here trying to cross the last major street before reaching campus, but this light would only be green for about 8 seconds. That was enough to sneak like 6 cars in, and the last 2 would be running the red. If you didn't get in line early enough, this would certainly make you late to class. Really sucked. But one time, when I was running really behind and I was next at this light, I felt the urge to take care of my fellow man and put my car in park to run over, hit the crosswalk going across the busy street, and get back in my car before the light turned green. This simple act would extend our crossing period to the state minimum of 7 seconds. 7 seconds? 7 seconds? That seems strange, right? crosswalk has to have a countdown of at least 7 seconds legally before the hand starts flashing. 7 seconds is no joke. I mean, that is fast. Where would that 7-second crosswalk be?
What was that? Did someone say junction? You know, junctions are kind of the intersection of the train world. Look at these, they're not messing around. Sometimes when a train is pulling into a junction area, it'll need to slow down for safety reasons. Sometimes a train has to come to a complete scheduled stop at a junction in order to let another train clear the tracks. It's around this time that train hoppers or freight hoppers will make their move. These are people who quite literally hop onto commercial trains and use them for transport. It's very illegal, but there's something about this lifestyle that's always weirdly called to me. There are YouTube channels full of hour-long videos documenting cross-country trips like this. If you haven't watched one of these, I cannot recommend it enough. The host is always super interesting and the views are unbelievable. Maybe I'll do this year. Make it a video. Wouldn't that be a fun twist?
Intersections. Turn it back. Intersections. The very first intersection. The world's earliest known intersecting roads were located in ancient Mesopotamian cities such as Babylon in 4000 BC. Of course, these didn't have traffic signals or any need for them. It took a few thousand years for those to get involved. Now, boom, it's 1868 and the first traffic signaled intersection is born, just outside the Houses of Parliament in London. The gas-powered red and green lights were operated manually by a policeman. The device was invented by a man named J.P. Knight, who also helped to improve the quality of rail travel throughout all of London. In 1869, just a year after its implementation, the gas-powered traffic light was removed from the city after a gas leak led to an explosion which badly injured the policeman operating it. There was no second attempt in the UK until 1929, when they adopted the electric traffic light, which was invented by an American police officer in 1912. Lester Farnsworth Wire. That's right, Wire. Lester Wire. Lester Wire survived World War I. He was a different breed. When he returned home from the service, he became a detective, assisting in the resolution of 43 murder cases in his career. He died at 70 years old. He never married. After his death, his sister Edith attempted to get the original metal electric traffic light back from a museum display which housed it. She wrote a letter pleading for the original's return. But the museum wrote back that they had coincidentally thrown the device out just 2 days prior. Thrown in the trash. History. Disposed of. A replica of the original now exists in the Lester Farnsworth Wire Memorial Library in his hometown of Salt Lake City, Utah. Did you know that Utah could not become a state until it outlawed polygamy? Maybe that's common knowledge, but I did not know that. I was not part of that common. After the motion was final, it became the 45th state. It is the only state where the majority of the population belongs to a single church. One of my best friends, Ross, he's from Utah. He moved to Kansas when we were in the 5th grade. 5th grade. I made some of the best friends of my life there. We intersected. There was no traffic signal. It was a crash of personalities, a crash with no injuries. A crash with no injuries. That's uncommon. The very first automobile-related fatality was in Ireland in 1869. A woman was crushed under the wheels of an experimental steam-powered vehicle that her cousins were designing. As long as there have been cars, there have been fatalities, crashes, collisions. Even after the intersections were monitored and the traffic light perfected, people kept driving their cars into things. Nowadays, we don't even have to be driving to do the crashing. In March of 2018, a pedestrian was walking her bicycle outside of a crosswalk, and an experimental self-driving car being tested by Uber struck her. She died in the hospital. Her family received an unknown settlement. On March 27, 2019, exactly 7 years ago from the day I'm recording this, the two members of the band Hers and their tour manager were struck by a vehicle heading in the wrong direction on the highway. The three of them, plus the driver of the oncoming vehicle, were killed. The first song I heard by Hers was this one.
Yeah. I'm ready.
What Once Was. I didn't know they were gone when I first heard it. The song is apparently a commemorative note to one of the band members' late mother. Even without knowing that, the song sticks with you. Listening to it now, there's a painful nostalgia. It reminds me of being home, being with friends, being a student, being dumb, the intersections of my life, my interests, my family. It's a song that makes things feel all right, even when they hurt. I'm sure most of you have heard this before, especially my fellow Mad Men fans, but
Teddy told me that in Greek, nostalgia literally means the pain from an old wound.
intersections have changed over time, but there will always be wounds where they once stood. The surroundings may be new, but the crossway remains. Even if an intersection is removed as cities grow and change, the structures that formed around them will always owe them their placement. An old wound, a history of birth, death, life, a past which we can never return to, lives we can never meet again, strangers who will see us in their dreams without knowing who we are. It seems strange how connected it all is, the intersections of this existence, invisible but tangible, strange but familiar, old and new, red lights, green lights, street signs, car crashes, highways, freeways, parades, parties, revolution, construction, destruction, reconstruction. A shift. Let each intersection become a collision. In a way, that's all they were ever meant to be. Intersect, live, drive safe. I'll see you next month.
My favorite intersection is in DC near DuPont Circle. It's the intersection of Q Street and 20th Street. I used to walk by it every day. It's where my metro station was when I lived there, and it was a couple blocks from my apartment. But on every Sunday, there was a farmer's market that would open up there, and there's some open grass on one of the corners of the intersection. And so there's a lot of foot traffic, and you could sit there with a coffee and sit for hours and just watch a bunch of people walk by.
My favorite intersection is Magnolia and Riverton. It's a little T intersection. There's no oncoming traffic, so you're never fighting traffic turning left. You get the immediate right of way, and to the right is Target. To the left is the superior way to get to North Hollywood Rouse. Going around, a mess, don't do it. But I take it every day, and I think that's why it's my favorite. Okay, bye.
Hello, Jack Schutte. Here's my video about my favorite intersection in LA. It is the Grove Drive and 3rd Street in sunny Los Angeles, California. And it is my favorite intersection because it was my commute home for 2.5 years. And on the way home from work, this was the one stop that I knew traffic was going to die down, and it was just a straight way home. And whenever I reach it, I feel a huge, immense feeling of relief. And I really, every time I pass it, still kind of do. So here it is, the Grove and 3rd Street, Los Angeles, California. Thank you.
My favorite intersection is 8th and Ohio in Lawrence, Kansas. I lived on that block on 2 different occasions. Once when I was a junior, I lived in this big blue house, which in some ways was really cool and special, and in others it was the hardest year of my life. I feel like I really met myself there, and it's just a beautiful little corner. There are a couple of big Victorian homes, some of them that college students live in, and some that families live in. And then the second time I lived there on the same block in my first apartment by myself, and that's where I got my cats and kind of the first home that I built for myself, which feels so special. And I kind of learned how to be an adult and learned how to live life the way that I want to live. So it's just a really special place. It has a lot of memories for me, and I think I'll always feel at home there.
The world's earliest known intersecting roads were located in were located in ancient Mesopotamian cities such as Babylon in 4000 BC.